Papagan, and welcome to There's a Place. So good to be back this weekend. This past week, I was at... I heard an ow. People are getting hurt. Well, that wasn't my intention. Last week I was in Niagara Falls, which is a really wonderful wonder of the world. There are many wonders of the world, many more than 7. But Niagara Falls is certainly one of them. It's besides the waterfall, there's all this great touristy kind of stuff that's popped up all around it. So you start out, you go to the American side, and it's very American. It's run down, it's past its prime, and it's where it all starts, where it all the falls germinate from. But then you go to the Canadian side, and it is a lot more Canadian. It's touristy, but in this great, quirky kind of Canadian way. They have a lot of, it's sort of like Hollywood Boulevard or Las Vegas without anything seedy. There are casinos, but they're really wholesome and nice. I don't even think there's any gambling going on in them. That's how nice they are. And there's a couple miniature golf courses. There's a couple haunted houses. There's a few of everything to choose from. And even dinosaur statues. That's the best attraction, and it's you can see it from the street. So that's kind of considerate, making the best journey free and visible to the public. But of course, the main attraction are the falls. They're beautiful and they're misty, and you go down on the boat. They're made of the mist. That's the one thing there that everybody does, whether you've come for gambling or wax museums. You go in the Made of the Mist, and you're just getting wet. It's really cool. So that's how I spent my day, just checking out Niagara Falls.
I'm moving the mic, ladies and gentlemen. This is interactive broadcasting.
Anyway, I spent the time just enjoying Niagara Falls, enjoying all the touristy stuff. I had dinner and went out for some drinks, did some karaoke with the locals, and as the day wound down, fewer and fewer of these tourist attractions, these wax museums and things, were open. So at the end of the night, I ended up at an arcade, just a simple token-based skee-ball arcade. It was the last thing on the boardwalk that was open. And I played some games and got some tickets, got some prizes, and it was good. I walked out onto the main street, and everything was closed, but I heard this noise, and I walked down a few blocks, and there were the Niagara Falls, and they were just roaring as mighty as ever. Even though it was the nighttime, they never stopped. And that's the reason for the season. That's why we were there at Niagara Falls, was to see the falls, and it never stops, and life never stops. It keeps on going, and it could be louder than ever when you least expect it. That was the lesson I took away from my trip to the falls. But let's get into the show. I was away last week. I haven't had a chance to have a good, long conversation with someone in a while. So I'm very excited to introduce my guest tonight. He plays drums at a band called The Radio Kills. Please welcome Dom Venti. Hey, what's up, Dom? Dominic? What do you prefer to go by?
Dom's good.
Dom's good, yeah.
I was raised as Dominic. Some people call me Dom, but usually after people get to know me for a while, everyone just calls me Dom. So.
Okay, cool. So yeah. That's good. We could jumpstart, because we just met each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's move forward a few years. We'll just go straight to Dom. It's quicker. Whatever.
Okay, your name, Dom Venti. That's a good, Italian sounding name.
Yeah. Originally, the name was Venti Cinque, back in the old country. I'm 3rd generation, so my grandparents were 1st generation born here. So back in Sicily, it was Venti Cinque, and then when they come through Ellis Island, they're like, that's way too long to be American, so we're just going to be Venti. And then some of my ancestors got chopped even further to just being Vent. So there's some V-E-N-T running around just...
Like Vent.
Yeah, exactly. Nice strong name.
Yeah,
you know?
Dan Vent.
It could be from any country in the world.
That's great.
Yeah. But I have Venti, and then Starbucks kind of came in and fucked everything up. Well, I mean, not really effed it up, but it's a lot easier when I tell people, I check in at a hotel or my order this and that, Venti, Starbucks, and then, you know what I mean? So it works to an advantage sometimes, other times.
But before, I understand what you mean. Before they had Starbucks, I'm sure you remember a time. There wasn't. You were
Exactly.
you were
I
the
was
Venti. You were
Now
Venti.
Venti is a coffee, 20 ounces. So hey, it works out.
Is that your preferred coffee chain, Starbucks?
You know, I really don't drink coffee. It makes me feel like I'm on drugs. Like it gives me like super anxiety. Like when I drink coffee, like I feel all like jittery and like I'm doing hard drugs. So I try not to drink coffee, and I feel like an old man when I go to a restaurant. And I like the taste of coffee, so sometimes I get like decaf, and they're like, "You're a young man, why are you drinking decaf?" Like, you know, but it's a whole caffeine thing. Not to say I don't like drugs, but I don't
Yeah,
like that
I
feeling.
was gonna say, like, how do you feel when you're on drugs? Like you had a cup of coffee?
Exactly. But not exactly. I mean, I guess if you go to every corner store and get that feeling, you would. But yeah, no. For some reason, I hate the coffee. But I do like the occasional frappuccino, caramel, of course, with whipped cream, because you got to do it up if you're going to do it.
At that point, the coffee is just a flavor.
Yeah,
Mixed with the
'cause there's
sweetness.
there's no caffeine in there. It's all like sugar, fructose, bioengineered, whatever. But it's delicious, so I'll take it every once in a while.
What's up with decaf?
Apparently, they soak the beans in water. I mean, all the caffeination doesn't come out. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I think that's the process. They soak them and then grind them. But I mean, it's mainly for old people.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would get it.
Because sometimes in the morning, like, before it didn't bother me, the whole caffeine thing. But then, like, there was a point where it started bugging me, but I like the taste of coffee. And sometimes in the morning, you know, you're having your bacon and eggs. It's like, you know, I want to feel normal. I'll have a cup of coffee like an American.
Warm.
Yeah, exactly. To boost you up in the morning, you know what I mean?
Check out this new invention I came up with. Invention. Recipe.
Okay.
Earl Grey coffee.
Like a tea bag?
You throw the tea bag into the cup of coffee.
Oh, damn, like a double.
Tea goes into the coffee. And
How is it?
It's great.
Really? Because I like tea. And I like coffee, decaf. The two together could be a perfect marriage.
You have to do it with the Earl Grey.
Yeah, I like
Green
Earl
tea.
Grey. I'm not an oolong. Green tea occasionally, you know what I mean?
Tea coffee.
Yeah. Oh, green tea. Yeah, that we might have something there. Too bad this is going out to people. They might steal our invention. Or your invention. I'm not a part of
It's
it.
a recipe. It's not an
Yeah.
invention.
Okay. Well,
You can't copyright a recipe.
well, you could patent pending, you know. You could package them both like a French press into a tea bag contraption.
Oh, like the pods.
Yeah.
I don't like those.
Yeah. Speaking of pots, this place smells amazing when you walk in.
Next to the
Yes.
weed club.
I actually went to the weed club because I thought it was this place. I saw the sign on one door and I saw a door next to it, so I walk in and I saw the bulletproof glass. I was like, there's no way this has to be the dispensary. So I'm talking to the guard in this. I was like, hey, I'm looking for like a TV studio. Like, oh, it's next door. I was like, okay, no problem. I'll go next door.
That must happen constantly there.
Yeah, totally. Why would you have your neon light one shop over? But I guess stoners are going to be curious and like, oh, let's try this door, that door. But I mean, that is a pungent aroma that permeates through. But I'm a fan. It smells good.
You're
Yeah.
down with that.
Good. I'll say that.
What do you think of all the different types of marijuana?
Man, okay. That's a whole conversation. We can have it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, totally. I think the names are a little overblown. I think the variety for people who are sick and need it is great because you can know the cannabinoids in each different strain. Say you're in pain, or you need to sleep, or maybe you're narcoleptic and need to have a boost in energy. Like you can get those different things. But for the most part, I think names are exactly that. Names, you know, it's something for like brand recognition. You know what I mean? We got a pack problem here. We're going to keep continuing talking about the dispensary next door, and you have your sativas, you have your indicas, and you also have
First-time patient.
your blends. You're a first-time patient?
patient.
Is it you or me? Who's the
Oh,
first-time
we're
patient?
back.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they do that thing. If
Don't
you,
fret.
yeah, people living in. I was traveling recently, And people like to ask questions about the marijuana laws in California.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know.
Yeah. Is it legal? Is it? I mean, you have medical marijuana. I think California is probably the next place that's going to be straight up legal, just like Colorado, because you'd be a damn fool not to do it. You see it. They're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars. And it's like, I just drove on a freeway to get here that had potholes all over the place. We have a school system that's totally fucked up and crumbling. It's like, people are going to smoke pot. Why not tax it? I'm not saying overtax it, but make it profitable for the state to fix everything that's wrong. It makes perfect sense. And I mean, there's never been on record one person that ever overdosed from smoking marijuana. But on record, there's people that die by the tens of thousands from cigarette smoke, by the thousands from car accidents, by thousands from drinking alcohol. It's like, if you have a beautiful opportunity to make money and make people happy at the same time, why wouldn't you do it? But that's just one man's opinion. Is your opinion the same? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But it's pretty much legal now.
It's pretty much been legal for a very long time.
West Hollywood was the first place.
Yeah, even law enforcement, just like, they turn a blind eye, like, it's weed, like, who cares? No one stabs anybody or robs a purse to go roll a joint.
To get a lid.
Yeah, to get a lid, exactly.
3 fingers worth. That's what they would do back in the 70s.
I wasn't alive then, but
Me neither.
I kind of wish I was, to a point where I wish I had a time machine. I'd like to go back to like 1968 through, and we'll like skip over all the dark civil rights shit and just pretend that it didn't happen and just look at all the positives of that time. I'd like to do that. You know what I mean?
You're only interested post-civil rights movement in history?
I love civil rights. I'm saying I'd like to visit there and not have to deal with the dark past. Just be like, to be a happy fucking person and dealing with all the pleasures that were of that time. So I would go, if I was to go back, I would be an activist for civil rights because I believe in equality.
Yeah, if you're going to go back, you should go help them.
I know, but like, if you have a time machine in a finite amount of time, do you want to go back and march in a parade, or do you want to go back and go to Woodstock?
Why would you have a finite amount of time?
Because in my mind, my time machine is something that doesn't last forever. You only get a few trips.
Oh.
You get a few trips only. You know what I mean? You get to roll the dice a couple of times. Because anything that sweet can't last forever. Even Doc Brown had trouble with his flux capacitor.
Right. I mean? You can't just always go back in time.
No.
So where else would you go on your trips besides Woodstock?
Woodstock would be amazing, even though the sound was probably terrible. But just to be there would be awesome. But I mean, imagine seeing dinosaurs and not getting eaten, because you'd have. I mean, it's a harsh place. Dinosaurs are not friendly. They're not our friends. This isn't Jurassic Park. But I mean, to see something like that in person would be pretty amazing.
See if but you'd have to plot it just right because the Earth looked different.
Exactly.
You could end up inside of a mountain.
You might end up in a volcano or an ocean. So I guess you have to prepare for those things.
You would zap right to, like, in the ocean, a shark would jeep just
exactly,
about
like,
to.
Yeah.
I mean,
a shark coming up to get a dolphin, and then it'd be like, "Woo,
on
T-Rex."
the back. Yeah.
That would get me.
On the back of a whale.
Yeah, that would be.
So yours are late 60s.
Yeah. Late 60s, early 70s.
Jurassic era, Paleolithic times,
yeah.
and then number 3, because rule of 3. So what's your third time travel destination?
I mean, I guess you'd have to do the future.
That is the correct answer.
But yeah, because if you've got 3 chances, you can't go all 3 in the past. Because I mean, life is finite. You're only going to live, maybe 100 years if you're lucky. But the way I live, no way in hell I'm living 100 years. So, you go ahead 150 years. It could be a beautiful utopian society, or it could be a shitstorm of nuclear fallout. Like, have you ever seen the movie Children of Men? Where great movie where people lost the ability to have children.
Yeah, I remember the preview.
So like everything's falling apart. Like, part of me thinks that's the way things are going to be. Not that you can't have children, but there's going to be some great problem, like some strife where there's no water, or this and that. So like, it could be good or it could be bad. But regardless, I'd like to see it because I ain't gonna live long enough to check that out. What about you? You got 3 choices. Roll those dice. What they're going to be?
Okay, Old West.
Dude, damn. Okay, good one. Good one.
Future, obviously.
Yeah.
Isn't it the Renaissance, Florence, Italy? Oh, no.
He's taking it
Ancient
back.
Greece.
Oh man, imagine
to
just the
hang out.
hedonistic behavior.
Well, and to learn from Aristotle and
Socrates.
and all the great
Yeah.
the different gods.
Yeah.
I'd learn Latin.
You know, if I had an opportunity to learn Latin, if I knew I had a time machine, I would learn Latin and go back and just try to ball out in ancient Greece, you know? Like, that would be amazing. Like,
You would have to learn the language, though.
oh, yeah, because they would be like, who are you? Like, you're uneducated. It's like, no, I speak English. But at that time, no one was speaking like that. Oh, yeah, that'd be amazing. I went to Italy a couple years ago, and that's all I could think about. It's like, these buildings have been here for so long. Imagine what it was like living here when they were just built. And like walking around and like barely nothing, like just drinking goblets of wine and living it up, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if I would have been someone who was in the Colosseum to see the carnage. You know, there had to have been protesters like, oh, this is terrible, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't think about it because popularity was like, let's go watch the games. But there had to be someone
Of
who was
course.
like, this is fucked up. Like, you're killing a lion, you're burning Christians, you're doing all this stuff. But the other side of the coin is people like super pumped, like, let's kill that lion, let's do it. So, but if I had a time machine, I would go to the games and then make my decision if I liked it or not afterwards. But I think that's something you kind of had to do.
It would be good if the time machine, if the time machine's made up, we can add some stuff to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You do
so-
some repairs, you get 4 chances.
Well, this is this is what I want to add to the time machine. Instead of taking you to a specific day at time, it just takes you to like a generic, like hyper-realistic, what you would imagine that time to be like.
So it's like a time machine for your own imagination.
Well, just like generic, like nautical.
Yeah, all of it.
You know, like it's just like everything about boats.
It's like just everyone fucking ropes on their shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
Shoveling coal in a fucking steamer.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing.
time machine that just goes to just like kind of
Themes.
Yeah, themes. The theme machine.
The Theme Machine.
That's what I want.
Hey, you know what? That's a great movie, The Theme Machine. They think they're building a time machine, but they build a theme machine. Yeah. Like you go back to the 60s and just everybody's a psychedelic hippie.
Yeah.
It's like, where are the normal people to be the yin yang to the hippie? Because if everyone's a hippie, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. That'd be pretty interesting. Yeah. So you said you did some traveling. Where'd you go?
I went to Niagara Falls, and I went to Ohio.
Two places I've never been.
Yeah, there's a family reunion in Ohio.
That's cool.
But on the way to the airport, Dave Grohl is from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, the king of rock, Dave Grohl.
I love Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
I grew up on Nirvana.
Right.
So.
Okay. So he's from this crappy little town in Ohio. And to inspire the youth that they could grow up to be something, the police chief organized this alleyway to be
I
all
heard about
fan
that.
art. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like Dave Grohl Alley or something.
Dave
right?
Grohl Alley, and it's all Dave Grohl fan art, and they keep adding to it. There's a sculpture of him playing in Them Crooked Vultures.
That's an interesting pick, and I respect that because I love the Vultures.
All of his major musical projects are represented.
Wow.
Probot.
I was gonna say that's kind of obscure. Like a lot of people don't know Probot, but he fucking played with Lemmy from Motorhead. Like that record's great, and I've loved Dave Grohl since I was a kid because I played drums, and like that was like the first record that I really like connected with was Nevermind, and then like I don't know if there's another musician who's like played in so many projects and everything he touches like turns to gold. Like I mean, there's some people that hate the Foo Fighters because they got so big and they're kind of poppy or whatever, but I mean that guy's played with people from Zeppelin, like Them Crooked Vultures, people from Motorhead, Queens of the Stone Age, like great reputable bands and musicians that are so well respected. And I mean, the career the guy's had is pretty amazing, but it is crazy that he has an alley in Ohio with fan art and a sculpture of Probot. It's like, it's totally weird. But awesome for him at the same time.
He loves rock.
Dude,
He's keeping the torch alive for everyone.
I have met him on like 1 or 2 occasions, and I will say he's the nicest guy ever. Like super nice and super into music, and just like, hey man, I just want to say like, first record I bought was Nevermind. He's like,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. Oh, you still listen to it? All right, that's cool. It's not like he's like, I've heard that a million times. 'Cause, I mean, that record sold 20 million. You know, I guarantee 3% of those people have ran into him and told him that, which is a shitload of people who tell him that Love Nevermind, a record he made in 1992 or 3. You know, like he's done so much shit after that, and to still be enthused about it is pretty cool. I would give him that. Yeah.
If I ran into Dave Grohl, I would tell him that I liked the video for Learn to Fly, where the band members play all the parts.
And women,
Yeah.
and the fat chick and everything, and the flight attendants and the captains. Yeah.
And Tenacious D is in that video too.
Oh, they totally are. Yeah, Tenacious D. Yeah, that's awesome. I think last time I saw them was at the Forum for his birthday. So he had all these like crazy guests come out. He had Ace Frehley from Kiss, Lemmy from Motorhead, David Lee Roth, Van Halen, and like they'd play like 2 Foo Fighters songs, and they'd bring out a guest, and they'd play 2 songs from them. Like Alice Cooper came out, Tenacious D. So I mean, it was like a 3-hour show, and he's just like playing his greatest hits, and then all his guests' greatest hits too, and it was totally epic. It was pretty bad.
Grohl.
Yeah, the Grohl.
Great old Grohl.
No, my phone is in my shoe over there.
What? Tell me.
I still got a green on my pack.
Yeah.
Just keep the cable.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm still doing it.
I was gonna say, are you telling me all this gold we've been giving you has not been going through?
It is going through. It's going very well.
Okay. That could just be the sound of my brain.
I don't think it's back again. That's it.
That's it. What?
I think you're static charge or something.
Oh yeah,
Need to rub
that's
his
great.
feet and like shock me or something?
On the wood. This is great for anyone that's ever wondered how they do
Yeah, exactly.
mics. You're seeing it
Here you
first.
go. We have wireless
right
mics and packs, and apparently we are experiencing technical difficulties with his pack. We have a static charge buildup.
Maybe we can cancel out the hum.
Do you want to share a mic? Do you want to sit really close?
Thanks a lot. You know, 'cause the last thing we would want. What Dirk? Now you don't have a mic. This is the same. Dirk is trying to talk
We
to us.
just met each other, but we can share a mic.
Yeah.
There's no
I gotta
problem.
say, is it working, Nolan? Is it working?
Yeah, but when you touched his mic, it did the noise again.
I'm telling you, he's filled with static charge. Oh, dude, it's the windbreaker.
It could be.
I bet it's the windbreaker.
Magical windbreaker.
But we do. Yeah. We do have a situation outside where static charges are building up. It is a lightning storm outside.
Rid of this.
Yeah.
This could be put in my body.
You get it? Where, you said you got it somewhere.
Our clothing sponsor is Internet Discount Mall.
I've heard of that.
It's good. What they do is they go to thrift stores and estate sales and places like that, but out in the middle of nowhere, and they get good-looking jackets like that and like weird T-shirts for Miller Lite and things like that, and then they sell it for not very much more than the thrift store.
That's dope.
It's like a personal thrift store shopper.
Oh, that's so rad.
They do events and stuff too.
I know I've heard the name, but apparently I have to look further into it and check it out.
And
Wow.
just yesterday, though, I started being followed on Instagram. They're like a big part of their business is Instagram by cyberware,
Cyberware.
and somebody
Isn't it?
ripped
I
off.
see that like every time I search porno, like on my computer. They're like, "Here's a cyberware. Protect your computer."
Oh.
It's like, listen, I'm just trying to jerk off real quick. Like, I don't need the
No,
cyberware.
this is where WAR.
Oh, different.
Like
Sorry,
clothes.
kids.
Yeah, not that you know anything about that. Like wear like clothes, and they were just totally copying Internet Discount Mall. It was like the same because the name was similar, and they had like similar jackets and stuff. It was weird.
It's like a copycat personal thrift store shopper.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of times, like the tech industry is like a copycat industry where it's like, this is hot, so we're going to make something eerily similar to it. Like, in the last week, I've seen a commercial for something, an app where, say you don't need a bowling ball or a chair, you take a picture of it, and it's like automatic Craigslist. It shows a picture of it. It's like Lollipop, and I don't remember the other one, but there's 2 of them that are exactly the same thing that have commercials up right now, like trying to push their app. It's like FanDuel and DraftKings. You see those commercials all the time for fantasy football. It's like those 2. It's like when one thing gets hot, someone's going to copycat it with just a little bit different code so you can't get sued, and they're going to put it up, and it's going to be a rival. So
That's the only way you get the best product, though. It's good for the
exactly.
consumer.
It is good. No monopolies on windbreakers. We want competitive pricing.
It drives the
Drive the windbreaker prices down.
This is it's not cold out. It's warm, so
Yeah,
windbreaker's a good choice. It's not a heavy jacket.
Even though it's kind of warm, when the sun goes down, I still like a long sleeve for some
Me too.
reason. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I like a long sleeve. And I am happy that the winter's coming. I don't know if you can exactly call it a winter in the climate we live in. It's more like a perpetual fall, and then it comes to spring again. But I do enjoy the cooler temperatures. That's for sure, because I've been very hot lately. And even though I can tolerate the heat, I'm not a big fan of it. So sun, I got a problem with you. Yeah.
It's very controversial. I'd like to just say Don's views on celestial bodies do not represent that of the show.
Yeah, okay. I can respect that.
Yeah, the sun, the moon,
Yeah.
Venus, Mars, you're all welcome here.
Yeah, especially Uranus. Come on down.
Boom! That's good. Oh, bam! The train.
Yeah, exactly. But I am speaking of celestial beings, I am a huge fan of planets and planetary things. It's like something that makes sense in a world of things that don't necessarily make sense. The crazy thing is I work with a guy who tried convincing me 2 weeks ago that the world may be flat. He saw a documentary on YouTube from some ultra Christian thing where he was talking about how the world is flat and people have been to Antarctica, but they haven't been past Antarctica. And China and Russia and the United States stop people from going any further because that's the end of the world. And not only was I like, man, what am I doing here talking to you? I was like, man, what are you doing here talking to me? How have you not been hit by a train? How have you not done something stupid like stick your dick in a light socket? You're talking about the world is flat. People figured this shit out centuries ago. Copernicus and Columbus and so many people. It's how are you telling me the world is flat? It's not flat.
That's a crazy. I love that theory.
No
one's ever been past Antarctica.
Exactly. I love it too. I just let him keep talking. I was just oh, really? It's possible. It could be flat. But then I told him, I was I've flown to the other side of the world a couple of times. And, I didn't notice, making a right turn and then coming back or anything like that. It's kind of a straight shot over an ocean. And then you get there. But,
it's a big conspiracy, too.
Dude, wouldn't that be the biggest conspiracy ever? No, the world is flat. It's okay, so the edges are frozen. Is that why there's a water shortage in California? Because finally the water is running out of the planet? What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe it's just me, but...
I wonder what series of clicks on YouTube led him to that documentary.
Dude, you gotta watch a series of crazy conspiracy theories, starting with the obvious ones, 9/11. I'm sure everyone's seen a 9/11 conspiracy movie and been oh, it was a hoax, this and that.
Building 7.
Building 7. It came down at free fall speeds. There was trucks full of gold down there, and now they're gone. All the FBI records are gone. It's we could talk conspiracies all day, but you got to go a couple clicks from there to get to the world is flat, which is crazy.
It tells you about it. What do you think? Speaking of the world is round, what do you think about Columbus Day?
I'm Italian, and I think Columbus Day is kind of wrong now that all the facts have come out. His diary's been discovered.
500 years.
Yeah. People knew this shit a long time ago, you know what I mean? But they found his actual diary. It's not hearsay. It's the man's own words, pen to paper. And then that it comes out that he probably wasn't the first person here. Obviously, Native Americans were here. They came through somewhere, probably the Bering Strait.
But they never went to Europe, so...
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think we have to give them credit for being to both Europe and the New World.
Yes, I will. I'll say, was it an incredible feat to get here? Yes. But should it be celebrated? It should be noted. Columbus Day, he made it. But I think he did some kind of terrible things. And I'm not going to, totally trash him because it is a feat to get here. But I can't say, oh, everything he did was good and worth it. apparently they say the Vikings may have made it here before him, which I don't know if it's true or not. That's kind of another speculative story. But I like Columbus Day and it's Italian, but I kind of feel a little bit of regret, you know what I mean?
But if there wasn't for imperialism, we wouldn't all be here today.
It's true. I guess Europe would be like way more overpopulated.
Like it or not, that's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fact.
I mean, it's a course of actions that like brings you to wherever you are. So that course of actions brought us to where we are here. And for better or for worse, I mean, we're talking, it's going through the internet, you know what I mean? And we got a train behind us blowing steam, so we're talking about industrial revolution, which maybe would have never happened if Columbus didn't come here. So it's a yin and yang, you know what I mean?
I always took Columbus Day. My interpretation of it was always, let's be happy that we're all living in America and not
That's
Europe.
true. Exactly.
Or South America or some other place.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it should be like in Indigenous Peoples Day, like, we wish this never happened.
yeah.
It's like, so it's just like
I wish,
Native Americans?
yeah.
I don't know.
I wish the whole thing could have happened in a better way where they could have lived to or learned to live in harmony.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have people coming from such different worlds and such different states of mind, where one is about property ownership and the other is about like taking care of the land and being part of the land, like you are the land, you're another, organism, and we're about cutting it up into plots and grids and stuff like that. Like,
It was never going to work.
no, it never was. Exactly.
It's like a married couple that
Yeah.
fights.
You got the rock and you got the scissor. Paper, rock, scissors, and it's
It's
gonna.
just never going to work.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, I do love Indian casinos. So the ones that are benefiting now, I say kudos, because I like Morongo. Beautiful hotel. The lazy river is quite relaxing.
I didn't know they had one.
They have a lazy river, but let me tell you, no drinks in the lazy river, which makes little sense, because it would make the river that much more lazy to be able to drink inside of it.
It'd be the urine river, though.
Yeah,
You need to drink, you're going to pee. You're right there.
if they think that they're going to keep people from pissing in the lazy river by not having your cocktail in hand, they're sadly mistaken. Morongo, I pissed in your lazy pool. On record saying that. I'm not proud about it, but I did it. The chlorine levels were high enough. I could feel it in my eyes.
It's diluted down.
Exactly. Especially with it circulating, parts per million year into water. I think everything's all right. Yeah. But Morongo is a good place. It's enjoyable, I will say. So we got to go back, though, because you said you went to Ohio and Niagara Falls. My brother was in Niagara Falls. He's married, and his in-laws are from Canada. He married a French Canadian. So whenever I see my sister-in-law, I always make her speak French to me. It's just something about the French language that I love. I don't know what it is. I'll never learn it, but I like the way it sounds. So I'm like, tell me what this is in French, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. Oh, oui, oui, oh, baguette. It's amazing.
Beautiful language.
Yeah, totally. So he was up there visiting in-laws because it was just a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was on Monday.
And so they went to Niagara Falls. I saw pictures, and it looks insane. So is it that amazing in person?
Yeah, I'm not normally impressed by nature. Like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's really nice, but like, everywhere is beautiful. But this, being down on the boat and like having the...
Oh, you were down there with the sprays coming out. Did they put you in one of those jackets?
Everybody does it. It's fun.
It was like one of the speedboat ones or like one of the tourist ones?
Just the big...
Yeah. Did you see the speedboat ones that are out there, though? Maybe that's something that I'm imagining in my head.
It was the off-season, so
Yeah.
some stuff was closed.
Okay.
They have this thing there called the Rock Legends Wax Museum, but it was closed. I didn't get to go to it. It was wax figures of like Little Richard and Johnny Rotten
That's awesome.
and the Kiss, all the people
Next
you'd
to one of the
expect.
wonders of the world?
Yeah.
Like, it's that close?
Uh-huh.
It's
Couple
like, hey,
blocks
see
away.
Wonder of the world, and then go see the rock gods in wax. Wax museums are a trip, though.
They're my favorite kind of museum.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You
They're
dig
so-
wax museums?
On the American side, there's a history of Niagara Falls Wax Museum
Oh, wow.
that's like crumbling and like all the
Like
all
decrepit?
Yeah, it's decrepit. All the like exhibits are broken.
That's kind of good. It's like a broken down carnival.
Yeah, it is. There's
Enter at your own risk kind of situation.
a lot of stuff about people going over the falls and barrels.
Yeah, what was that like a thing for a while?
It
'Cause
still is.
No way.
Yeah.
People are still going over in barrels.
Uh-huh.
No one learned their lesson.
Yeah. Well, one guy went over. He was the first guy to go over without any kind of protection and live a couple years ago.
He just floated his ass down the fucking
Yeah.
river,
Uh-huh.
over the falls.
Uh-huh.
That is so crazy. That's got to be illegal, right?
Yeah, he
But I
got
mean,
fined
who's getting-
$500.
It's well worth it. You escape with your life, and you're the only person to go over the falls and survive. I think, I don't know if I read it or saw it somewhere, that a lady went over in a barrel with her cat. Imagine the scratches you would have got from your cat going down Niagara
The cat's
Falls.
all wet.
Because you're bobbing along, you know what I mean? But you hit the edge. What are the chances that you're going to hit the edge and, like, fall up and down? You're going to, like, tumble and, like, come out, this and that. Like, that would freak the shit out of me.
It would take them a long time to recover the barrels, too.
Yeah. I mean,
So you're just, like, in there.
yeah. I will say, big ups to whoever started that fad. Whoever's like, you know what? I think Niagara Falls would be dope if people came down in barrels. And then just, like, started that whole situation.
And it doesn't work out for him.
Yeah,
And it's just
exactly.
like, well, I'm going to do it.
He didn't even have the chance to spark the whole industry of selling the barrels to people to go over the falls. Yeah, poor bastard. Oh well.
I also went to, and on the way, Lucille Ball's hometown.
Is she from Niagara?
She's from Jamestown, New York.
No way.
It's like an hour and a half away. And they have the Ugly Lucy statue. Did you see that on the internet?
No.
There's
Like-
a statue of her. It's right on the lake, Lake Chautauqua. It's like beautiful, like, northeast, North America, foresty, this great lake. There's a lighthouse, and then there's a statue of her that looks like a reptilian alien.
Is it supposed to be that way, or
No,
was it just trying to look like her? They tried to like.
Yeah, they just did a really bad job,
Oh, that's the best thing ever.
and it got
And they
famous.
still put it up.
Yeah.
Like no one was like, wait, like we commissioned like a statue. This looks like shit. This can't go up. They're like,
Yeah.
well, fuck it, we paid for it. Put it up.
It's like she's like holding the spoon and like the vitamin,
Uh-huh.
and like she was fire.
That's
It's
hysterical.
it's in bronze.
Oh god, a
It's like
bronze,
life
a
size.
terrible bronze statue. Yeah, first thing I do after this is I'm gonna look that up. That's amazing.
It's called Scary Lucy. I call her Ugly Lucy.
Ugly Lucy. I'm sure you're not the only one with that description. Sounds pretty horrid in the best way possible.
Yeah, the real Lucy was pretty.
I found her attractive in the younger days of that show. Like I always really liked that show. You know, like no one really talks about it. It's like the first interracial couple on TV,
Mhm.
black and white. Even though they slept in separate beds, it was still. I think he was Cuban, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Cuban man and a redhead white woman in black and white television. I mean, that's kind of big during that time. So,
They originally they didn't want him to be on it, so like nobody would ever believe that an American girl was married to a Cuban
to
guy.
a Cuban.
And they really were married.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And she's like, we are
Yeah,
married.
we're really married,
Like-
so like it is kind of believable because it actually happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
That show is amazing. It's still funny to this day.
Yeah, it is.
It's like it's funny, almost like it frustrates me a little bit, like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like I can't stand to watch that show because Larry David frustrates me so much, and sometimes I get to that point with the Lucy show. I love Lucy, but it doesn't push me over the edge. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like I can't handle it anymore. Like this guy drives me nuts, but she like drives me nuts to a point where it's endearing and it's cute. And then like Ricky forgives her and everything. She cries, you know what I mean? Like
In a way.
it's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an amazing show. And then they were friends with like basically an elderly couple next door.
Yeah.
Like what were their names? Ethel
and Fred.
Fred, yeah. Ethel and Fred. They're like no one talked. They were much older. It's like you can't find people your own age to like kick it with. And granted, they were their neighbors
and
you know?
landlords.
Yeah, but they were like really good friends. They were always like together. Like they even went on like vacations together and stuff like that. It was
They did
kinda trippy,
everything
yeah.
together.
Yeah, it like promoted ageism, non-discrimination of older people, and biracial relationships, which I'm for both of them. You know, I like biracial relationships, and I like old people. Old people are awesome.
Do you think that's why it's been able to stay relatable? Is because it wasn't necessarily ahead of its time. It was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
how things
exactly.
should be.
I think so, and also it deals with themes that still ring true today. Women drive men crazy. Like, show me a guy who's never been driven crazy by a woman, and I'll show you a liar. Like, guys are going to be driven crazy by women for the rest of their lives. There's nothing you can do about it. And the way that they portrayed that was in a comedic way, in a lovable way. So I think it'll always be on TV. Same thing as Married with Children. I mean, that's like a more grotesque version, but you still have the whole relationship battles where he loves Peg, but Peg's crazy. And he's crazy too. But
Does he love her?
You know, I think deep down he loves her because he says he doesn't, but if someone tried to steal Peg from Al or disrespected her, I think that the man who scored 4 touchdowns in that one game would step up and do something right for his woman, you know? I think it was Polk High. That was always his claim to
Yep.
fame. I scored 4 touchdowns in one game for Polk High. So I think that guy, he'd come back, you know? They were like old high school sweethearts, and like they got caught in a rut, and it's old and it's sour. But at the end of the day, even though he's part of the No Man Club, I think he wants a woman in bed with him. Who doesn't?
What was up with Jefferson getting with Marcy?
Oh, well,
'Cause
yeah.
the original husband left.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so unbelievable that she would be with any man.
Especially a guy
And
as
then-
handsome as him, because he was like hair, like shampoo model handsome. You know what I mean? But she was like such a dominant lesbian. Nothing that there's wrong with being a dominant lesbian, because someone's got to be the power bottom. But it was not believable that someone like her would be with someone like him. And she just like owned him, like had his balls in the purse. Just like ran that shit, you know what I mean? Which like made for a good show and everything. But looking back at it, that guy, he's still a handsome guy to this day.
Maybe he was gay.
Maybe he was gay. Maybe that's why it worked. They were each other's beards, you know? Like, you know, you do your thing on the weekend, I'll do mine. You go to Palm Springs, I'll go here, you know? We'll make it work. Shuffle out a little bit. That's a great show, though. I'm happy that those 2 shows will, like, always be around. I don't know what show. I mean, we get The Simpsons, South Park. Those things will kind of stick around, I think. I haven't seen The Simpsons, a new one, in 5 years.
I still check it out sometimes.
Is it funny?
Yeah. Why not?
It's still good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because, like, that's something that worried me. It's like I've only seen, like, reruns and stuff for so long. I was like, I'm afraid to watch the new stuff that I haven't seen in 5 years, because if it sucks, it's going to, like, shatter everything that I grew up with, you know? But I still watch South Park. I think South Park's funny. I mean, either you're a fan or you're not. And if
I
you're
used
not,
to
I don't
be.
know, hold it against you.
I used to be, but then once I found out, this is really the turning point, when they were like bragging about how it only takes them a week to make it.
Oh, and then they did that documentary?
Yeah, I watched that and I was like, oh, this is impressive. And then as I would watch the show after that, I was like, they really didn't work that hard on this.
Yeah, it's like maybe they could have used an 8th or 9th day?
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you have to do it in 1 week? Because you're
Yeah.
lazy? The
Yeah.
Simpsons takes 1 year to make an episode.
are you serious?
Between the thinking up the idea and the writing it, and
Oh,
the
wow.
recording the voiceovers and doing the animation and the color, and then when it goes on air, it takes about a year.
That's crazy.
That's why it's so good. It's they have all the
Yeah.
time to work on it.
It's Matt Gorm, right? That's his name,
Matt
Gorm.
Groening.
Matt Green. So my sister-in-law is an editor for a magazine, and she gave a shout out to The Simpsons. So Matt saw it in, I think it's Hollywood Examiner or something like that. I can't remember the name. I feel like an idiot because I knew it like 2 seconds ago. But he read what she had wrote, and he drew a picture of Ralph and signed it like to Cheryl, thanks for the shout out, and signed it and mailed it to her. And she's like a huge Simpsons fan, like that's her shit. And she got like a hand-drawn picture from him and got it framed and like up in their house and everything. Like she was like super stoked about it. So when I saw that, I was super happy for her, because like to love something like that for so long, and then so like the mastermind of it like appreciates it, you appreciate it and sends you that. It's like super cool. Yeah, but I do like South Park because they touch on like social things that are going on like currently, and they kind of like twist it around in fun ways. Like that's what I like about it. But there are a lot of throwaway episodes. Like it's either gold or trash. The gold episodes are like up on a pedestal, but there are a fair amount of shit that you could tell they put together in the 7 days. You know what I mean?
Remember the
So-
very, very early episodes of South Park where there was like Kenny
Yeah.
would die in every
Yeah,
episode?
exactly.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny, you bastard.
And the rats would come out and chew on his carcass. Yeah, that kind of became
So different back then.
Yeah, it really is. Now, like, Kenny doesn't die all the time. It's like, why are we wasting our time killing this motherfucker? He's just coming back next week.
And they had all the toys and stuff, and it was real big for a little bit.
Yeah, it was real big.
The movie's great.
Yeah, and basketball. That's
Oh yeah. And have
that's
you seen Cannibal the musical?
no.
Okay, you got it.
Cannibal?
Cannibal the musical. It's Trey Parker's student film. It has all the people from Orgasmo in it, pretty much.
Really?
It's a musical about in the 1800s these like prospectors who were going across Utah got lost, and one of them ate the other ones, and he got tried for cannibalism.
That sounds like
It's
something
a
I'd be way
musical
into.
about it. It's really funny.
So
Cannibal the musical.
he did it when he was a student?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this was one of his first things when he must have been like bursting with ideas.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I'll definitely check that out.
Widely available.
Really?
Troma picked it up and distributed it.
Good call.
So
Yeah. But the one thing I will say about Matt Stone, Trey Parker, is that they own Comedy Central. They'll let them do whatever they want. So many people get censored and have to worry about what they want to do. Those guys, it's like, okay, you're tried and true. You're proven that you're a success. Like, obviously, you know more than us, so just do whatever you want. And like, no one tells them what to do. No one tells them you can't say that, you can't say this. They might bleep something out, but for the most part, they just free reign, which I think is super cool. Because anytime you're doing something on that large of a scale, whether it's like music industry at the top, like film industry, there's so many hands in the pot telling you, you know, we tested this with a focus group and it didn't really test that well, so why don't we change this? And they're like, no, F that, like, this is the show, like, this is what we're doing. Air it or don't air it, like, fuck off. So I do respect that a lot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody who's doing their own thing, I almost like that more than the output.
No, totally.
Like I
Maybe-
like Kid Rock for that reason. He seems like a cool guy, right?
Yeah, dude, Kid Rock, I don't necessarily want to put his album on in my car, but if he was in a bar drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon, I'd be like, hey, let's have a Pabst together. Like, you know, ball with the ball, you know what I'm saying?
I would rather have Kid Rock in my car than his music playing in,
In
my car.
Oh, hands down. And he's from Detroit. And I love the city of Detroit, even though I've never been there, just because I love the Lions since I was a kid. One of these days I'll make it to Michigan. But I've never been to Michigan, never been to Detroit. Just always grew up loving that team. So one day I'll make it there for the Lions, the Tigers, and Kid Rock. I want to see Kid Rock in the Motor City. Not really, but I'd slap a high
No
five
shirt
there.
on, and
Yeah.
the big sweatpants,
Dude,
and the
yeah.
hat, and Josie's there.
Yeah. Oh, before he died, that little. I think that was what was so appealing to me in the beginning, was that he had a midget.
Yeah,
Like, midgets are cool.
he wasn't
Little
a midget.
people.
He was like but he had some weird.
Yeah, he did.
He's like a weird little kid man.
Yeah, exactly.
A kidney. He's a little kiddie man.
Yeah, like me and my friends had like a weird thing about midgets when we were like teenagers and like doing wild stuff like drinking this and that and partying. Like, we loved midgets. Like, and our like fantasy dream was to own a Jack in the Box ran by nothing but midgets. You know, like, could you, like, because we would go to Jack in the Box like every day, the same Jack in the Box, sit in the same booth, you know.
Just think about what would make this
Yeah,
better.
yeah. And of course, we're in a certain state of mind, you know what I mean, on a daily basis. So we would go to Jack in the Box and just be like, wouldn't it be so awesome if we owned this Jack in the Box and there was like nothing but midgets that worked here and all the counters were low, so they didn't have to step on steps to get higher. Like, we're accommodating them. We're going to live in their world for this dining experience. You know, like, if I got to take a knee to get my Jumbo Jack, I'm going to do it. At least that was my dream when I was 17.
I wish we could eat there. Dom, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Your band, The Radio Kills, they're on the internet. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we're on iTunes, YouTube,
Yeah,
Facebook. Check it out.
Google.com. You on that?
Yeah, you can
Great.
Google.com.
Check them
us.
out on Google.com.
Yeah. Got a new record coming out in the next couple months, so check that out.
And until next time, this is Adam Papagan reminding you that there's a place you can go, and it's your mind.